Hello, I am Ronaldi Sosa, and today I'll talk about Porto. Location. Porto is located in the north of Portugal, right at the mouth of the Douro River. In the picture, you can see Douro River. Porto is a city that has always been linked to this river and the sea, and where we can find endless attractions, both cultural and historical, as well as gastronomic. Population. Porto has a population of 214,349 inhabitants, according to the census carried out in 2016. Expansion territory. Regarding his geographical area, Porto has an area of 41,042 kilometers square, being the second largest city in Portugal, behind the country's capital, Lisbon. Distance from Honduras. Porto is located at a distance of 7,871 kilometers from Honduras, and they are divided by the Atlantic Ocean. So the star transport to get there will be the plane. A trip from Honduras to Porto by plane lasts approximately 26 hours, and it's not a direct flight, but several stopovers are taken. One option is to fly from Comayagua in Palmerola Airport to Houston Continental Airport, then to Frankfurt Airport in Germany, and then to Porto Airport. The other option is to take a plane from San Pedro Sula in Ramon Villeda Morales Airport, then to Lisbon Airport, and finally to Porto Airport. Language. Although the official language of Porto is Portuguese, you will probably have no problem making yourself understood in Spanish due to the similarity of both languages and the fact that the Portuguese are very used to receiving Spanish tourists since both countries, Spain and Portugal, share borders. Time zone. Portugal has the West time zone, but this is divided into normal time and summer time. In normal time, there is a time difference of 6 hours between Porto and Honduras, but in summertime, there is a difference of 7 hours. So right now, it's 5 p.m. in Honduras, and in Porto, it's 11 p.m. Thank you for your attention.
Hi, hello. My name is Andrea Saray Varela Andrade. I'm account number 2022-134-36. Okay, now I'll be talking about Porto's Portugal economic activities. Some of the main incomes in Portugal are industry such as ship constructions, auto parts, textiles, clothing, the creation of cement, plastic, and also wine. As you can see in this picture, this is the port wine, which is specifically made in Porto, Portugal. This one is shipped worldwide and is also really delicious. It has a little bit of sweetness and it's drink at room temperature. We also have tourism, which Portugal has really beautiful places to visit. So you will be seeing many foreigners in Portugal. They also have fishery, which is also one of the main incomes in Portugal, specifically on the west coast of Portugal is fishery. And last but not least, agriculture, which agriculture became one of the main incomes in Portugal since the Portugal debt crisis, which causes a lot of people to be unemployed. So they started to develop agricultural businesses even though they didn't know anything about it. And now it's becoming one of Portugal's main incomes. Now let's talk about Portugal's currency, which is euros. Actually, most of European countries use euros as their currency except the United Kingdom, which uses pounds. An euro is equal to 24.86 lempiras, which, if you make the math, that is actually a lot of lempiras. So that will take us to the next question. Is it expensive to live in Portugal? Actually, no. Even though they use euros, the minimum wage of Portugal is around 1,556 euros, which you can live a decent life with that amount of money. It's actually one of the cheapest countries to live in Europe. Actually, it's the second less expensive country to live in Europe, and is 50% less expensive than living in America.
Hi, Mr. Treches. My name is Linda Sofia Martinez Alvarenga, and today, November 12th, I am going to talk a little bit about Porto's transportation, prices, and all of that thing. First of all, how much is a ticket to go to Porto? Well, a ticket to visit Porto can cost around $350 to $400, depending on the airline that you decide to travel. But of course, you can also find some discounts in certain times of the year. Now, what kind of transportation do they use in there? The best way to go around in Porto is by metro or bus. Porto boasts an extensive public transportation operated by the Sociedade de Transportes do Porto, which includes all the buses, trams, and the metro. That helps visitors reach the top attractions. But how much is a ticket for transportation in here? Well, ticket prices may vary depending on the journey, but they can cost between 150 and 2 euros. So you really need to be careful on what you're buying. The ticket can be bought in the station, on the machines, or in the train. Or you can buy a Porto card, which is a card that gives you unlimited access to the city's metro system, and it costs 6 euros for a day. Well, I am also going to mention a university that is very important in this city, which is the Universidade do Porto, or the University of Porto. It is a Portuguese public research university founded on March 22, 1911, and it's considered the best Portuguese university and one of the best European institutions by higher education ranking. It is one of the largest producers of science, and it has one of the most noted research outputs in Portugal. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sandra Giovanna Mondragon Soriano, and today I'm going to talk about customs of Porto, Portugal. The city's culture is based on music, art, and food. There are many festivals and cultural events held in the city throughout the year. The local inhabitants respect numerous city patrons and saints, organize fairs, and make pilgrimage to sacred places. The Romeria is usually accompanied by musical and theatrical performance, fireworks, and also by the abundance of sweet which the local bars offer to the participants of the festival. Best known tradition is wine. The city is famous for its wine, and there are numerous wineries and vineyards in the area. Visitors can go wine tasting in some of the wineries and can also visit the wine museum, which has exhibits of the history and production of wine. On June 10th, in Porto is celebrated the Portugal Day, and on October 5th, the day of proclamation of the Republic. The most original holiday is the Great Fountain, which is celebrated on May 1st. The climate in the country is quite dry, so since ancient times the local inhabitants respect sea gods and ask them for a rich harvest. With the passage of time, the holiday underwent several changes. The inhabitants decorate their houses and fishing boats with wreaths of live flowers and celebrate renewal of nature. Traditional festival is the Bonfires of Saint John, beginning the early evening of June 23rd and last until dawn the next day. The list of popular entertainment includes street concerts, dance parties, jumping over bonfires. People enjoy a lot of wines and national snacks. There is also the traditional throwing of sky lanterns into the air. The peak of the celebration comes at midnight when Porto's sky begins to blow with colorful fireworks. Another very famous festival in the city of Porto is the gastronomic festival, Agosto do Porto, or August in Porto. This event lasts for 3 weeks and is divided into 3 decades. The first decade is dedicated to one of the traditional Portuguese dishes, the second to the seafood, and third decade is dedicated to the national meat cuisines. The festival takes place in St. Lazarus Gardens, which is a popular city park. Three Kings Day is also an important holiday in Porto and is celebrated on January 5th. Beliefs and religions. Over the years, the city has been home to Catholics, Protestants, Muslims, and Jews. Each of these religious groups has left its mark on the city and contributed to its rich culture, but the majority of people in Porto are Catholic. Thank you.
Hi, Mr. Troches. My name is Maria Belén Ferres Monzon. Today is Saturday, November 12th. My part in this video is about typical foods of Porto. So Porto has a great fishing tradition due to its proximity to the sea. For this reason, the star foods are based on fish and shellfish. And of course, we have the king of Porto, which is cod. So let's see more about these typical foods of Porto. Number 1, broa cod. Broa cod is a classic in Porto's gastronomy. It is baked cod, covered with a layer of crispy cornbread. Cod cooked this way is juicy and tender. It takes enough olive oil and black olives so that it's not dry, and in some restaurants they also add bits of bacon, eggs, and potatoes. Number 2, bacalhau cedo pipo. Another Porto's food specialties is this one. This Portuguese recipe accompanied the cod with mashed potatoes and onion. And in some restaurants, they put the mashed potatoes covering the cod, and in other, a accompaniment. Number 3, francesinha, the star dish to eat in Porto. So the francesinha is a sandwich stuffed with meat, cheese, sausage, hamburger, and bacon. There are varieties of francesinhas, but they are all high-calorie, meat-based dish with an egg on top. And in addition, it is always accompanied by sauce and chips, and sauces can be spicy or sweet. There are 1,000 different options. Number 4, catfish bolinhas. Bolinhas are a kind of croquette or fritter that are very typical of Porto's gastronomy. The most common are the cod bolinhas, and although you will also see them made with cheese and meat. And now tell me, would you dare to try these foods? Bye, Mr. Torches.
It is not surprising that the second most important city in Portugal receives a large number of tourists. And that there are many tourists means that there are more than enough hotels in Porto, Portugal, for all budgets. However, the best hotel in the city usually a beautiful mix of that story and opulence that is so evident in the city. Famous Hotel Porto, Portugal. Among the best hotels in this place are NH Collection Porto Batalha, Villa Foz Hotel and Spa, Monen Sun, Maison Albarle Monumental Palace, Torre Avance-Guerre, Flores Village. Top 3 the famous hotels. Number 3 is Intercontinental Porto. From its humble beginnings as a monastery and then a palace, the hotel exudes charm and character. It is not difficult to locate the hotel at the end of Avenida Dos Aliados, the central part of the city. Apart from its cultural charm, the best part is the location in the historic center of Porto. All the attractions of the city are within a short distance from here. Number 2, Pestana Palacio do Freiso, member of the leading hotel of the world. The magnificent hotel is one of the ideal places to experience historical opulence. The hotel's public space are hosted in a restaurant and rehabilitated Portuguese Baroque places dating from 1742. And number 1 is the Yatman. With a focus on wine, this luxury hotel and spa has a lot to offer, spread across 7 acres of Lennon Hill amidst the Porto wine shacks. This hotel is definitely one of the best hotels in Porto, Portugal. The hotel has an enviable position of the southern bank of the Douro River. It's a 15-minute walk to the old town from here. The Yatman restaurant has 2 Michelin stars and is a great destination for food lovers.
Morning, my name is David Joseph Mesa Cáceres. Today's date is 12th of November 2022, and today I will talk about important monuments in Porto, Portugal. There are several monuments in the city, but I will talk about some of them, starting with the Clerical Tower. This elaborate work designed by Nicolao Nasoni was built in the first half of the 18th century. It is one of the city's most emblematic monuments, with a panoramic view of Porto and Douro River from the top of this tower. It is well worth the effort of climbing the 240 steps staircase. Inside this monument, you can appreciate a Christus collection, which allow you to take a journey through time and appreciate how the art and the religion complements each other. The second monument is the Episcopal Palace. This residence began being built in the 18th century. It ended in the 19th century with a history marked by remodeling, construction, and reconstruction. The works in the Paco were only finished in 1871, and this delay contributed a lot to the fact that the Paco hosted a battery of defense of the city during the siege of Porto between 1832 and 1833. The third monument is the Freixo Palace. The Freixo Palace was built in the mid-18th century and is one of the most remarkable Portuguese Baroque civil monuments designed by Nicolao Nasoni. The palace interior is vibrant, with most of the rooms featuring frescoes and well-executed stucco ceilings and luxury paintings with allegorical theme. The fourth monument is the Igreja de San Francisco, or Iglesia de San Francisco. Is one of the most important temples, and under the Iglesia de San Francisco lays the catacombs where the Franciscan monks are buried, and members of the Porto's wealthiest family also. And the last monument is the Porto Cathedral, built in the highest part of the city in the Batalha district. The Cathedral is the most important religious monument in Porto. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Yusara. Today is November 12th, and I'm gonna be talking about 5 must do in the city of Porto. Well, here we have places to visit. The first one is wineries in Vila Nova de Gaia. This is a great place to visit if you like or are passionate about enology, or if you just want to have a good wine. If you visit this place, it's mandatory that you drink their most famous wine, Basso de Porto. This wine is famous for its peculiar aromatic intensity, sweet taste, and high alcohol content. Now, Lelo Bookstore. It's considered one of the most famous bookstores in the world. To enter, you must buy a ticket per person because it is too small, and this prevents many people to enter at once. This bookstore is inspired by the stairs of Hogwarts in the Harry Potter books. The next one is San Benito Station, and this is not just any station full of trains. It also has walls full of tiles, beautiful tiles that tell the history of Portugal, making it look like a museum. Now, Ribeira, the most authentic and interesting neighborhood in Porto. Famous for its colorful houses and for being the most picturesque neighborhood of Porto, you can also find good restaurants here. Well, and at the end of these top 5 places to visit in Porto, we have Mercado Bullón. If you love the colorful atmosphere of the markets, visit this one, which since 1914 is the most beloved market for fruit, fish, vegetables, and flowers.